Hey guys, it's Circa with the Redline Podcast. I want to talk a little bit today about win rates. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about winning in World of Tanks, how you can have an impact on a game even though there are 14 other players on your team, there's 15 players on their team. And I hear quite often that, people think there's no way that I personally can have an impact on the game. I'm just one person. I've had games where I did really well and we still lost, um, things like that. And I just want to talk a little bit today about how you can kind of take that perception, turn it on its head, and really, realize that you can actually have an impact on quite a few games. It's just not all the time. So, what I want to do is talk a little bit about win rate. And first of all, you can't win every single game. I had a really good coach for another game called Overwatch, and he explained to me, at least from his point of view, that roughly 40% of the time, you could play as best as you can. You could put up a ton of damage, you could get a bunch of kills, and you're still most likely probably going to lose the game. Then on the flip side of that, another 40% of the time, you could do nothing. You could put up zero damage. You could probably just go drown yourself at the beginning of the game, and your team is still going to win. And that's why, even the worst players in World of Tanks will have, still probably around a 40% win rate. Even if they're Lord Sheen and they're YOLOing at the beginning of the battle, they're probably going to have a 40% win rate because that's just how it works out. Everybody's going to get wins no matter what. Even if you do nothing, your team is still going to be good enough that they're going to carry you and you're going to get a win. So what does that leave you with? About 20%. And yes, there are players that have win rates that are higher than 60%. Does that mean that they win every single game that kind of hangs in the balance? No. It means that this isn't a perfect explanation of winning, but at the same time, it's really just to remind yourself that you can't win every game and you can't lose every game. There's an in between. So what do I mean by the extra 20% that lies in between the two 40s? Well, in World of Tanks, there's a lot of scenarios where you can have an impact on a game. It could be you are in the perfect tank for that particular map. You're in a heavy tank that's great hold down, and you're on Himmelsdorf. Or you're in a really great sniper tank like a Leopard 1, and it just, it just all falls into place for you. So that's just one example. You're on a tank that's really good on that particular map, and it's a time for you to shine. And, but for whatever reason, maybe you just have a really bad game. The other team has a guy that's similar for that type of map, and he just, really lights it up, and they get the win. So when you are on a map that that your tank can perform very well on, it's really a time for you to step it up, and you have to be smart, and you have to really pick your spots. Another situation, I think we've all found ourselves in scenarios where you can clutch. It's 4v4 at the end of the battle, and you really have an opportunity to step up and win the game. And, some people just don't pull it out, or maybe you do. You step it up and you do pull it out. But that is a scenario where you individually probably could have made a huge difference on whether or not you got the win. Another scenario would be when you are top tier. You are a tier 8 and you're up against a bunch of tier 6s. Like, you really have to step it up in that scenario because, a tier 8 against a bunch of tier 6s is such a powerful weapon. Same with a tier 10 against tier 8s or, whatever. But when you are top tier in, like a 10-9-8 or an 8-7-6, like, that is when you absolutely have to step it up. You have to perform well. You have to understand the value of your tank in that fight. And so what I want to show you first, though, this is a battle that I was in, I think it was a couple months ago. And this is not top tier. This is a scenario where I'm going to be one of a few tanks still alive at the end of the battle. And this is, I just want to showcase an example of what I'm talking about when I personally had an opportunity to swing the battle and get a win in a battle that we could have very easily lost and probably should have lost because they had a much better team. You will see that I do run XVM. I do have other mods too. I'm a big fan of having as much information as I personally can get. And the reason why I like XVM is it tells me who's good on the other team, who's good on my team. Kind of helps me gauge when I can be aggressive and when I can't. And I'll explain that a little bit more later on in this replay. But I personally really like mods like XVM because I think more information is always good. I know some people don't like it. This is just my personal opinion. Anyway, so we'll kind of run through this. I'm going to skip ahead actually, but I just want to show you at the beginning, we did not have a very good team. The other team actually was quite a bit better, and my team just collapses, but we'll kind of run through that. And I think what we're going to end up doing is skipping ahead to we're going to skip to where it gets really good at the end. My team is just collapsing here. They push into a bunch of tanks in the city and get murdered. We lose the valley. We're already down 6 to 8. We're down a lot of HP. They're up by 3,000 HP. Okay, so here's where it kind of gets good here. It's 7 to 10. And I still have all of my health. And the reason why this is important, and a lot of other videos have kind of gone into this, but one of the main things is you really want to conserve your health and not spend it to take bad trades early on, because in a situation like this where your team is not performing well, I now have full health to step up and really kind of make a difference. And this is a great part of the map because there's a lot of bushes. The other team has to come to you to cap it out, and you can really spot both directions from this part of the map. Now, am I condoning camping spawn? No, absolutely not. I don't think it's a good idea. But you know, here I've just taken out 3 of their tanks. I did eat a shot there for 440, and then I think Artie hits me here in a second for another 500. But yeah, so I mean, that was unfortunate, and now I am down below 50%. I'm at 385 health, and you can see here, so right now it's 10 to 10, but the other team has way more HP. They have 4,200 HP left. We have 1,264. There's a Pantera that's more than half health. There's an unspotted Indian Panzer that's full health. There's a Borsig, which I think is also very near full health, Artie, and an IS-3. So meanwhile, my team is all very low. I mean, the Scorpion's one shot, the Wheezy is one shot, the Lynx is one shot, and then you have Artie and me. So we're very much in a bad way here. But the best thing you can do is just wait. When you're in a situation like this and you're low HP, everyone else is low HP, the absolute worst thing you can do is push out. You want to just wait. This is you do not have health to play with here. I already spent my health to take out those 3 tanks that were pushing on our base. But you do not want to push out. You want to let them push. You want to let them bleed a little bit, and then once they've done that, then you can start to maybe take a little bit of map control. I also have a very long reload on the Lorraine. Okay, so here comes the IS-3. And he's going to get deleted. Here comes our full health Borsig. I think he's running the derp gun. And so I'm in a bit of a predicament here because I only had one shell left. I know I can't kill him with that one shell, so I have to reload, and that's a 30-second reload, which is not great. Pantera's moving up, the Borsig's right there, and the nice thing about this spot is I have this bush here where I can spot, I can shoot without being spotted, and then I have this rock that I can hide behind. The biggest concern is the arty that could possibly hit me over the back. Okay, so here comes the Borsig. He kills the Wheezy. Now this guy pushes out for whatever reason. I don't know why he comes out of cover. But this is, this is a good example of what not to do, okay? He has 75%, maybe 60% of his health. The Pantera is a one-shot. We still don't know where the Indian Panzer is. And what he should have done is waited for the Pantera to move up. Like, they should have had a pretty good idea of where I was at this point of the game. I'd been spotted before. And he should know that a Lorraine can clip him out. So this was a mistake on his part. But he comes out. I get fully loaded. I put a couple into him. He bricks a shot, and I finish him out. Now, I only have one shot left. Artie misses, Pantera misses. So there's definitely some luck involved here in this fight. And I'm in a tough spot here because the Pantera is a fast tank. He's a one-shot. I only, have one shot. So if I miss, I'm probably dead. And then at the same time, if I don't reload right now, I could be in the middle of a reload when he pushes. We don't know what he's going to do. And he's not a bad player. But he's, a little paralyzed right now. I'm thinking, okay, Artie might be able to spot for me. Artie might die. It kind of sucks for him. But at the same time, if he can light that Pantera and I get the kill, I'm still in a very good position to win the game. Still haven't seen the Indian Panzer. Okay, here comes the Panzer. He's not a good player. He didn't light me. So I'm thinking if I can put a couple shots into him, I get one. Pantera kills the Artie. Okay, so now it's 3v1. I know I could take a shot from the Pantera, but I got to hit mine. So he hits me, and I just keep going. I want to get Artie safe at this point. We don't know where the Artie is. The Panzer, yeah, he's a bad player, but how bad is he? Is he going to push me? Is he going to go back? Like, the biggest challenge about playing against players that aren't very good at the game is they're not predictable. You never know what they're going to do. Good players are usually actually pretty predictable. You can guess what the best play is, and they're probably going to go for it. Like, there's no reason for me to try to go head-to-head with a Panzer. I need to use my vision, avoid him. Even a bad player can hit a shot on a Lorraine. I have no armor. So I need to try to find the Artie, get him out of the fight. I'm lucky again here because he misses his shot. Okay, now I'm going to reload right away. And the thing here is, again, we know the Panzer is somewhere probably near Cap, right? And he's not a good player. So what's he going to do? A bad player either might try to come back and fight me at Cap. All right. That's not outside the realm of possibility. Or he's going to think I got a Cap to win the game. So my guess here was that he was going to just keep pushing to Cap. I needed to use my vision, come around through the city, and then there's some really great bushes in this area where I can spot the Cap and hopefully get shots on him. If he did end up going Valley, then I'm still going to go city. If he doesn't get on the Cap, then I'll make an adjustment and probably play the bushes up here and try to get spots on him. But either way, I don't want to engage him up front and take shots. Okay, so we're gonna skip ahead. So he got on cap, and my Artie teammate seems to think I'm gonna get spotted coming in, but there's some pretty good cover around here. I've got a full minute. There's plenty of time. Can't spot him yet. Okay, so I've got the bush. Pull forward a little bit, spot him. He clearly doesn't have a crew as good as mine because he doesn't like me. So I back up. I get the bush cover. This guy's either a bot or he's really not good. But he lets me reset him, fire all 4 shots, reload. And he just sits there. So this was pretty easy at the end. But I still think this is a really good example of a fight where the odds were definitely not in my favor. It was heavily outnumbered. And because I played smart and I made decisions that preserved my health while the other team just pushed in and let us kill them, this is a really good example of how one tank can get a win, you know, can add to your win percentage. Next, I'm going to show you a battle where I was top tier, and I think it's a good example of, yes, you're a top tier tank. Like, yeah, you should do well, but a lot of the time people don't, for whatever reason. You know, they get, and I've made this mistake before. You thinking I'm top tier, I'm playing against a bunch of tier 6s, I'm going to be really aggressive. And the problem with that is that if you waste your health and you throw your tank away, it's a massive disadvantage for your team. Okay, so here's a battle where I am top tier. It's an 8-7 battle, so no 6s. But you know, this is a fight where I should perform well. I'm going up against tanks that are a tier below me, and it's really up to me and the 5 other tier 8s that are on my team to really use their tanks to the maximum of their ability. So this is another example of my team kind of collapsing. Even though we actually had some decent players, we did not play very smart. So what I try to do here at the beginning is really just conserve my HP and go somewhere where I think I'm going to make a difference. So I decided to go over to the 9-0 line. I know that, you know, they have a lot of mediums. And this is a really popular place for mediums to go. This is really the meta. Nobody really likes to go over to the 1-2 line because it's too open. They have 2 Artie, and you know, you're just going to end up bleeding a lot. So my plan from the beginning here was to conserve my HP, to get, you know, good shots, try to help win this flank over here. And, you know, already we have a pretty good disbursement over here. You know, we've got 3 heavies all coming over here, and I think that's the right play. I really don't like this flank. You can have snipers over here that can hit you if you go this direction. Artie can really work this area. So I'm really not a fan of the 1-2, not unless you're going to do a push with several other tanks and really just get past this initial place right here. So my plan was really just to sit back here, see if they push into us, and then you know, try to get some damage and wait until later in the fight to really use my HP and swing the difference. Okay, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. So their heavy came over, all three of their heavies. Minus the T-29 came over here. And I'm really just kind of waiting to see if they push. Kind of in a bit of a stalemate here. You know, and I'm just chipping. I'm trying to do any chip damage that I can. Artie hasn't decided to start taking shots at me yet. And their Progetto came over here as well. So, you know, I'm waiting for my clip to reload. And this is where the fight is on this map. You know, their team is really pushed on this direction. Our team is over here. We're heavily invested. And so I'm just trying to use the power of this tier 8 to help my team win this flank. So I've evened it up a little bit. This Indian Panzer is pushing through the middle, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I don't have any shots on him. Okay, the Panzer killed our Super Hellcat. And, you know, this flank is still not looking great. I mean, we've got a full health T-32. You know, he's really using his top tier heavy to the most of its potential. But I've now killed 3 tanks on this flank. Okay, so now is when... Oh, Artie found me. Oh, my own Artie is mad that I'm back here. So he decided to shoot me. Not pinning my shots. So we're in another situation where my team is not doing well. We're down 6-10. You know, they have a couple thousand more HP than we do. The Tiger and I are over here with, you know, full health and mostly full health. They have a full health Yag 88. I think a full health Pantera. The T-32 is full health. I mean, it's not looking good at this point. So if you're in a top tier, there is still, I mean, counting Artie, there's still 6 tier 7s left and 3 tier 8s. This is not a time to blow your HP. Like, you know, this is really when you can step up as a top tier and make a difference. Okay, so the T-32 is pushing, and I need to help this Tiger win the fight. That really wasn't a good trade. I lost half my health. So at this point, I'm seeing that the Pantera and the Yag have completely taken the west flank. And if I don't do something, they're going to roll through, kill our Artie, and I'm going to be dead because they're going to flank me. So I have to leave the Tiger at this point. And I'm thinking, okay, if I can go around, get the kill on the IS-2, and then help the T-32 finish off, help the Tiger finish off the T-32, then we can focus on the Super Hellcat and the Yag that's over there. The IS-2 is a one-shot. He still got the shot off. That's rough. But I had to get him out. Okay, Tiger got a good shot. The T-32 is now clippable. And he's focused on the Tiger, so I can come in. Ooh, Hellcat didn't pen. That's big. The key here is to keep moving because both Artie is still alive and they're looking for me. And this is where being top tier, you know, like I said, this is a situation where I not only can I clutch, but I'm a top tier and I'm against 2 tier 7 TDs and a pref tier 8, which is not really a great, you know, they're not a bad TD, but not great either. You know, very low alpha. You know, against so there's 5 of them against the 2 of us, and neither one of us are really feeling very good about our health. So I'm thinking I got to get this Hellcat out. I can take a shot from him and clip him out. Still got plenty of time on the cap. We don't know where the Yag is. Either he's on the cap or the Super Hellcat. So the Yag is on the cap. The Hellcat's driving out in the open. Tiger gets a shot on him. I can finish him off. Okay. Didn't get spotted for it. And the reason why I came over this way is because you can use the bushes to spot and get shots on the cap. Lit the Tiger, and the Yag and the Tiger and I were able to finish him off. Now, this is not by any means over because Artie, I'm a one shot for Artie. You know, the Lorraine and the GW can both finish me off. So, and I'm running out of ammo. So, the key here is to not be super obvious about your route that you're going to take. Skip ahead. Now, I don't want to get killed by the Artie, so I'm skipping. So the Artie has his back to me. Finish him off. Tiger's in a position where he can get shots, but misses. Game over. So I've given you a few different examples of games where either, you know, you're in a same tier match and you're in a position where you could personally clutch it and get a win, or in this case also clutch it, but you know, you're top tier and you really have to use the strength of a top tier tank to give your team a chance to win. So just to kind of give you a snapshot of me, when I started playing this game back in 2014, I had no idea how to play World of Tanks. I thought it was just like every other MMO. You needed to get to the top tier as fast as you possibly could, and I just didn't understand how to play the game. I didn't understand win rates. I didn't understand, you know, win rate, what it was. I didn't understand what I was doing. And so, you know, just to kind of give you an idea of where I was when I started playing, there are tanks that are frozen in time for me because I played them, you know, in the first year of this game for me. and I haven't touched them since. So, you know, I have a 45% win rate in the T46, 69 winning. I mean, I wasn't doing anything for my team, just nothing. 38% win rate in the Panzer II. The Lux was down there. Yeah, 49% win rate, 81 win rate in the Lux. I mean, just bad. This is, I went down the Tiger line, and I went down the Russian heavy line, and I was not a good player. I really didn't understand what I was doing. And then, I watched some videos, and you can kind of see where I started to turn it around because, I started to slowly get better. So, I think a good example is like the T34-85. I have 50% win rate, 936 win rate. Not great, not, not what you should be shooting for, but I started to at least understand what I was doing. And now I have a much better understanding of, there are situations where you can make a difference. So what I've kind of shared with you in this video is that yes, sometimes the RNG gods are against you. Sometimes, you're just, no matter what you do, you're not going to win the game. You could put up 8,000 damage, you could kill 8 tanks, but if your team just completely folds, you're still going to lose. And sometimes, you could go drown yourself at the beginning of the fight, and your team's still going to win because they're just that good. But there's that middle area, 20% of battles where you can make a difference. Either you're in the best tank for that map, you are top tier, or you're in a situation like I've shown in these fights where your play really could win the game. You could really step it up, you could clutch, and you will win the game. So I hope I've helped some of you guys out. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe and click the little notification tab. I'll be making more videos, and please tune in to the Redline podcast that airs every Wednesday on True Voodoo's stream on Twitch. We'd love to have you guys, and you can ask us questions and we talk about what's going on in the game. Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. I appreciate it, and have fun playing World of Tanks.